Alright, SUMIMASEN. Today, with another guest episode, Frosty, Abid, Retro, aka Wasim, same people, we're going to be talking about a philosophical topic, and this is kind of a change from our regular episodes. So let us know if you guys like this. Let us know if you guys want to see something different or you guys want to see more of this. Question we're asking today is, what would you rather have? No government or a corrupt government? And examples we're going to be working off of is Black Lagoon, Fullmetal Alchemist, and Attack on Titan. So to describe real quick for those who don't know, so Black Lagoon is based around anarchy. Main characters are involved in an area that's lawless. It's like the Wild West, and there's no government involved. Everyone's killing each other. It's all about money. Every man for himself. Survival of the fittest. Whereas Fullmetal Alchemist, they're all living in a country that's primarily military focused, with a very strong military, very strong sense of pride and honor when it comes to the military, and it's corrupt within the higher tiers of that military and of that government. And then Attack on Titan is corrupt in the sense that they have so much censorship and they're hiding the truth from the people, which they claim is for their own good and for their own safety and welfare. But as you watch the show, you find that that's rather the opposite. Okay, so let's get some answers. What do you think, Wasim?
I think we should preface before we start. There will be some spoilers ahead, so if you don't wanna,
spoilers for all the shows, basically.
Yeah, for all the shows, gonna get into spoilers. So
Yep. Spoiler alert. Yep.
No manga spoilers, but spoilers I can tell the seasons that are out.
Up to season 3 of Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Yep. Since Fullmetal and Black Lagoon are basically done. So who has an idea? What would you guys rather have? No government, complete anarchy, or a corrupt government similar to those seen in Fullmetal and Attack on Titan?
Is there no in between?
There's no in between. That's the whole idea.
I think out of the ones listed, like the AOT government would probably be the best one to have. Out of the options here, like the anarchy or corruption, like all for just the head all the way up top, or if it's like some kind of corruption in like some false sense of protection, where they're trying to basically baby the people, like hide them from like all of the harsh truths of the world outside the walls.
Okay.
See, I have to agree with that too, because if you look at Fullmetal Alchemist. Fuck, I lost my train of thought.
That's fine.
Oh, yeah. Let me
you got it.
go. Okay,
all
yeah.
Right.
So in Fullmetal Alchemist, they literally had a genocide against one of the races they had in their constituency. What was the race called?
The Ishvalans?
The Ishvalans, yes.
They literally just massacred them. They had a civil war. You don't really see that in Attack on Titan. It's more unified under the.
It's more of a class society, class based, where
class-based.
The poor are less cared for.
Yeah, you have the richer people living in the middle, and the poorer people living outside. But for the most part, yeah.
That's just in what you've seen, or that's just in the city or in the walls, right? But in reality, the other people on the other side, the people in the walls are being persecuted, if not targeted for genocide or whatnot. So I feel like it's similar.
Yeah, in Attack on Titan, I know you read the manga, but for us anime watchers, us plebeians,
loser,
a second party.
Yeah, we still have a vague idea of what's happening with the other country that they're at war with,
and we've gotten a glimpse of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, a small glimpse, but not the whole truth, right?
They're citizens, they're basically thinking, our only enemy is the Titans. Well, that's not entirely true.
Right, yeah, and then that's the thing with the government censoring the truth.
It's like the idea of a big brother watching over you, and don't worry, it's for your own good kind of situation, that kind of corruption. And speaking of Fullmetal Alchemist, I'd rather have anarchy over the corruption for one Fullmetal, because the state of that situation. Well, if we're talking about the plot, less so of the politics, that whole country the whole government, no matter how high up you were in there, right? It was a ticking time bomb, right? Eventually, it was supposed to become, the whole country was supposed to become one giant transmutation circle.
Right.
Everyone was gonna get wiped out. So, in that sense, I mean, did you say the same about Attack on Titan? Yeah, they're hiding the truth. Yeah, they have the king wipe the memory of the citizens, and they have all this going on. But could they really sustain that? And I think that's basically the plot summarized of Attack on Titan, is that they sustain these walls, and they sustain brainwashing these people and erasing their memories for this long, and now the Titans are attacking from the outside, and now that that's happening, you know what I mean? It's like kind of a ticking time bomb. So would you rather have anarchy where there's no government and it's lawless, or would you rather have a ticking time bomb with this false sense of security? What do you guys think about that?
Good point.
See, the thing is, though, isn't like Attack on Titan? You said Attack on Titan was also a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So both Full Metal and Attack on Titan, right? Both ticking time bombs.
Yeah. Well, plot wise, yeah.
Yeah. So in Full Metal Alchemist, like some of the people knew what was going on. Like what is it called? Like, fuck, I forgot their names.
Are you talking about
I don't know.
Hughes, he found out what was going on. He got killed.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, Hughes.
Yeah.
Like he found out about that, and then like one thing led to another, and they had like a military coup, and
yes.
they overthrew the government. But,
So you're saying at least in that sense they were able to kind of turn things around?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Like there was some like resistance, but like when you might wipe everyone's like memory and stuff like that, like it's kind of harder. And like in anarchy, it's kind of hard to like establish governance.
Yeah, like think about it like as if you're a side character, you know, in an anarchy environment as a side character, like you're not anything special. Like are you really gonna survive? Like I feel like I agree with you about the ticking time bomb, right? Like, you might be dead by the end of it. Like even if you're a side character in like let's say the corruption government. But if you're a side character in like the anarchy environment, isn't there like a high risk of you just dying early?
Of death, yeah, it's survival of the fittest. But
yeah, and you're not the fittest, so.
Yeah, so like, that's what I'm saying. What's preferable? A false sense of security, let's say in the case of Attack on Titan, or hey, like I can die at any moment. I can get, bombed or like attacked or kidnapped by this mafia member or whatever, what have you, and you're on edge, but you know that you're on. You know what I mean? You know the situation, or would you rather live in a this false sense of security? Like you think you're safe, you think you're behind the walls, you think the government and the military is there for you. Even with its hiccups, like I don't mean to say the whole Ishvalan genocide was just a hiccup in their history, but you see where I'm going with this. So I don't know, which one would be better. I mean, clearly neither, because the ticking time bomb situation means that there's no safety. Ultimately, there's no safety with either one. So safety is kind of out of the window when there's no government, no police, no security.
I can bring something up too. Like in Black Lagoon, like one of the main characters, Rock, he's a white-collar office worker who ends up getting kidnapped and joins a smuggling crew. And by no means is he anywhere near the fittest. But he still survives and he still lives his life. He ends up seeing like all these different things happening. Like he breaks a couple times.
But isn't he like a main character? So.
He's a main character.
Yeah, but when you said side character, you're describing average Joe, right? Yeah. That's the point.
Rock is like exactly what you'd see in a side character put forward as a main character. Like, he has nothing special about him. Like, he's your average person. Your normal person.
That's what makes the show interesting at first.
All he is like
point of view.
He's a brain. Like that's all he is. Like he serves as a brain, and then you have like Revi who like does her work. Like she's what you'd see in a main character.
Right.
Like Dutch, she's what you'd see in a main character. All these people are what you see in a main character.
Yeah, it's
then you have Brock who like lives there as a normal person who can't survive, and like they even say in the anime, like he lives in the Twilight Zone. Like he lives between the normal world and their world. Like he's
the messed up.
They
world.
don't even consider him as part of their world yet.
And it's that unique point of view that makes that interesting. But like Wasim, you're saying about Attack on Titan, when people's memories get wiped and stuff like that, it makes it harder to stage a coup and gather enough people and convince and stuff like that. And I agree, but ultimately, what happened in Attack on Titan? They did have a coup, and a successful one at that.
Yeah.
So it's like
I don't know.
it depends. It depends like how like how far are you trying to live, basically.
Yeah. I feel like if you knew how long you would be safe for in that area or under that government, like if it's for a nice amount of time, then I would take I would take my life in Full Metal or AOT, as in just safe inside the inner walls or something like that. Like eventually shit would happen, but
But-
You get to live your life.
yeah. But in anarchy, you have to fear for your life every day. I feel like.
But you're in control. That's the appeal. That's the appeal to it. You're in control, and yeah. In anarchy, you're in control of yourself. No one's like you don't have to follow any laws. You don't have to follow any person. You can join any faction you want.
I mean,
There's
you can debate that, like what if you get kidnapped or something like that, and you have to
Like what happened to
comply?
Rock.
Yeah.
yeah, I know.
That's
That's a risk. That's a risk. But what I mean is you're free in the sense where you're not just living under a government that confines you to an area, or you're just what I mean. You're not really a sheep to the system. So it's like the ultimate question at the end becomes: would you rather be a sheep to the system in exchange for safety and security? You follow the rules. You're a good boy, and whether or not the government is doing shady things in the background, or would you rather have that freedom, but with that freedom comes the consequences of life endangerment, of all the negatives that go along with that.
Honestly, I'd rather have some social hierarchy like they had in Full Metal and Attack on Titan. Not to say that their governments are great or anything.
Yeah.
But they had some order and laws and
Yeah,
you had normal people living their lives.
Exactly. That's the main question. Is that something you would trade?
Well, in
I
Black
would say-
Lagoon, anarchy case, they still did have some kind of order. They had some kind of hierarchy. You had all the big organizations. They were basically had power. They all
Power
had
struggle.
Power. Yeah, they had a power struggle, and they tried to maintain a balance. There was even the scene where Balalaika, Chain, and the Colombian cartel, and all of them got together to try to discuss what was going on with the Hansel and Gretel case.
Yeah.
So
They
you
had
think-
that huge issue where it was disrupting the power. People were getting killed, and nobody knew what was going on, and nobody took credit for it.
Yeah. At some point, yeah, you needed some diplomacy.
So do you think at some point, if you live under anarchy, you'd reach a point where corporations, they operate kind of like independent governments in a way?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
You had the weapon smugglers. You had
The mafia
cartels,
members
you
and
had,
all that.
the
Yeah.
drug dealers. You had all these people.
It's like the mob. It's like the mob in America. At one point, they would control certain neighborhoods and certain cities and things like that. The cops are afraid to get in there. They're running the country. They come knock on your door. Hey, pay up, for whatever. They have their own tax or their own system. You can't do anything about it, right? They're a non-government entity, but they're acting in a similar fashion, whether it's for safety or not, or whatever is being exchanged. So.
Imagine if America went under anarchy, and then all you have is McDonald's, government. They hire their own private militia and shit like that. They make business deals with other business. I don't know. That's
like mini nations or whatever.
They do have they have a lot of those jokes in things like Borderlands, where they have the big corporations fighting each other.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So yeah, so that's
they do it is something that's it's not a completely foreign topic. They're having some media.
Oh, 100%.
Memes.
100%. This question gets asked a lot in political philosophy. It's would you give up your freedom for security? It's founding of America. I think it was Thomas Jefferson, or I don't know, one of the founding fathers talked about that. Give me liberty or give me death. Right. So would you rather be free and do whatever you want, and freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of all that? Basically, he'd rather choose that or death. There's no in between. So what would you guys do? Like, and this is what I'm saying. If you were to give up your freedoms, would you give it up to an extent as seen in Attack on Titan, as seen in Fullmetal Alchemist, where you're basically you're kind of living a lie, you know, for that exchange? Would you rather be awake? Because this is a thing. If you wake up, like Aaron or whoever, you know, and you're an average citizen, and then you wake up to realize what's going on, you're crushed, right? Typically, you're crushed. Everything you've known is a lie, and all this. Would you trade that for that sense of freedom?
It's a tough question.
I think I'd prefer my freedom because where do you draw the line for these restrictions or what you're giving them? Like, at what point do you say it's enough or it's not enough, and who makes the call?
True.
What do you mean?
Because it's not going to be you. You're not going to be making the call on what freedoms are taken away. Like, what freedoms are you willing to give up?
It's not
There's going to be the things you're willing to give up, and there's going to be the things that are taken, and they're not going to be the same. Like, you're willing to give these things up, but what's going to be taken is more than what you're willing to give up, like, most of the time.
So I think these themes are what are expressed and explored in Attack on Titan when Eren and Armin and them, they want to go see the beach, they want to go explore outside the walls. Like, it's their right. And I think Eren says that, like, it's your right to explore and live outside the walls.
I think he did say that.
Something like that, yeah. So it's like giving up, basically kind of your right to live, right to information, right, to, different. Obviously, they barely have a sense of freedom of speech or anything like that, because you saw the military police, like season 2, season 3. Like, you're not really allowed to criticize. I mean, we didn't freedom of expression. Like, they controlled the newspaper. I don't know if you guys remember that. Kind of a subtle scene. They showed it a couple times. Season 2, season 3.
Which show?
And Attack on Titan. They controlled the newspaper. Yeah. There was a guy that had a WordPress or whatever. No, what is it called? The printer press. And he had.
Oh, the guy who was upside down with the tubes.
Was it him? I don't know.
No, that guy.
No, that's a different guy. It was the guy that owns the newspaper company, owns the printing press, and he had a younger guy with him. He's like as a recruit.
Oh yeah.
Even before that, they showed them. Yeah, because there was a scene because they were trying to say that Erwin killed somebody or something. They were trying to throw him under the bus. So they had the newspaper people like write a lie. Basically, and spread that lie among the people, so they could kill Erwin and hang him. So they controlled the media, they controlled the flow of information. And then after they won and the coup happened, and they kicked out everyone, and they took the government. They went back to the guy. They're like, hey, spread the word. The king was fake and all that stuff. So freedom of expression was gone. The freedom. The right to live, outside the walls and live your life freely, it was gone. I'm not sure freedom of religion was probably still there. They didn't really force the church of the walls or whatever. It wasn't really forced. It existed. It wasn't really forced. But
the other church and sorry, go on.
The other church of Full Metal. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What about the church?
I was just saying that it's an interesting similarity that they had their
own
little cult there too. And that was also controlled by a member of the government. So
there you go.
Interesting.
There you go.
There's a lot of similarities between AOT and Fullmetal.
Yeah, it's that same kind of corruption where they censor things and they have things exist. So it's not like, oh, you have to follow a single religion, or like communism where there is no religion. There is, but it's only what they want you to believe. It's only what what I mean. It's like funneled and filtered. So. It's like, think of like North Korea. Like they have internet. Technically they have books, but it's only approved. Right. It's only, what I mean? Or like Iran, where YouTube and Google and Western media is blocked. Things like that. So yeah, would you give up your rights to just and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I could see the argument where people would rather live a safe and secure life where they can have a family and at least live a semi-normal life. Even if they give up those rights.
Well, I don't know. I'd say okay. I would I don't know. That's the thing. You can't control the extent of what you're willing to give up or whatever because you're.
But that's the ultimate question. Would you give up your rights to just yes or no? All right, just throw it up in there. Yes or no? Would you give up your rights to live in security, or would you rather live in anarchy, survival of the fittest, and live, try to live as long as you can?
See, in anarchy, I feel like there is like some like hope though, because the example we gave earlier of like the corporations like acting as quasi governments.
Yeah.
Like you could get your sense of security from them.
And
they are the most fit in that environment.
Yeah, and you don't know, maybe in the future, some pseudo government can can exist later on. Whereas if you're starting with a corrupt government, you can have a coup. Yeah, exactly. All right, well, we'll wrap it up with that. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. We can leave a voice message on Anchor, and let us know what you guys think. Would you rather have no government or a corrupt government like in these anime? All right, bye.